Leslie Wexner is a great example here. Leslie Wexner owns Victoria's Secret and L Brands, right? He's the bank that bankrolled Jeffrey Epstein. And I was saying earlier that he signed the power of attorney over to Jeffrey Epstein so that Jeffrey Epstein was able to sell his assets, manage his assets, buy on his behalf. He could sell Victoria's Secret without Leslie Wexner in the room or even his knowledge if he wanted to, because that's the level of power of attorney that he signed over to Jeffrey Epstein when he was his money manager. But what that meant is that Leslie Wexner damn well knew.
If you're a freak, what do? You get in the underwear
That's how
business.
they were recruiting, is they were recruiting from the Victoria's Secret modeling, and Jeffrey Epstein was claiming that he was a rep. But do you know about the CEO of Abercrombie & Fitch that went down for running a sex trafficking ring?
Yeah.
He was Leslie Wexner's guy. When Leslie Wexner, he bought Abercrombie & Fitch in like 1990, maybe 91, 89. And then one of the first things he did was he put that dude into position as CEO. That was Leslie Wexner's dude. And he becomes the CEO, and he's gay, and he likes really hot young male models. And he started running a male sex trafficking ring out of Abercrombie & Fitch. So Leslie Wexner, this dude who is a self-proclaimed possessed by a demon.
What?
Yeah. Whitney has a whole chapter where she goes into this article that was done by a mainstream news source like 10, 20 years ago, where they're interviewing Leslie Wexner and asking him about how he came to power and what's his secret. It's called his Dybuk, D-Y-B-U-K, and you can read about this on Wikipedia as well. And he describes in his own words that he's possessed by a Dybuk, which is like a Yiddish word for an evil demon that drives him for more and more and more and more. This is in his own words. And it's things like this, where she's gone back to the original like article where they were interviewing him, and he's just like a CEO. So they're just asking him, what's your secret to success? And he's like, I'm possessed by, I have a drive for more. And he chose the word Dybuk, which is a Yiddish word.
So this is from New York Magazine interview.
That's exactly the source.
He says, and now perhaps it's time to reintroduce Leslie Wexner's Dybuk, the demon that always wakes up in the morning with Wexner and tweaks and pulls at him. This demon he calls terminal shvilkis, which makes him wander from house to house, repeating the pattern of his childhood on a luxurious scale, wanting more, swallowing companies larger than his own. It is precisely the reason that Wexner has $1 billion and doesn't stop at, say, $5 million and a new Mercedes every other year, and what he calls normal life. Bridge on Wednesdays and bar mitzvahs on Saturdays, and the Winding Hollow Country Club in Columbus, which is like Buckingham Palace to him when he was 15.
Yeah. So that's just to point out that, like, A, he's a fucking weird dude. He's a sketchy dude.